skills.
So today has been quite the busy day in the studio. Actually, not technically in the studio, but people have been trying to get in the studio while we were recording. And it just happened like not even 10 seconds ago while I'm doing the intro. Sorry, everybody, but I was sitting down with Dominique. And we were talking about some things that you don't hear often, especially down south, where the Bible is on the belt. But pretty fucking interesting shit, though. Not gonna lie. I have definitely a preconceived notion of what we talked about, and I was thoroughly surprised when you break it down. I have absolutely no qualms with all of it, which is wonderful, because it doesn't really matter. Whatever you want to do. And I do like the way we ended the episode, too. That was a good, everything just kind of came full circle. It was really neat. I'm impressed with how unintentional it all was. But I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed talking to Dominique, and I'm excited for all of y'all to get a different perspective, and I feel pretty confident a lot of you will. So enjoy and improve your life.
Oh, gee whiz, Satan. Why am I so unhappy?
Jim, it's just like I said, Jim. It's like I said.
Just stop sucking so much.
'Cause you suck, Jimmy.
Still just gonna hit that one single chord until the day I die. I'm just gonna come in here on your next podcast with whoever else you're talking to and just give it a flick.
It sounds like you're popping little bubbles. It's like, how do you know Dominique's on the episode?
Like a fish.
I really sincerely hope this actually transfers over to the recording. The little bumps that you're doing, it cracks me up.
Otherwise, we're just gonna sound like lunatics.
Yeah, I know people have no idea what we're talking about. Although in one of the episodes, Danielle burst in here, and I was like, you probably can't even hear her. And then definitely you can hear her on the podcast. I was like, oh shit, okay.
I mean, she knows how to project.
Yeah. She would definitely be someone that would have stand away from the mic a little bit. But not in a bad way, Danielle, if you're listening to this.
No, it's powerful.
It's assertive.
It's powerful. It's what women need.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. No more of that meek and mild bullshit. We ain't playing that no more. It didn't get us anywhere.
Have you seen the Battleship box that's been passed around the internet lately?
Nope.
See, I'm on Reddit. I was talking about this with my buddy the other day. I feel like people learn a lot from Reddit, but it's only if you curate what you see.
Sure.
And I don't put that much energy into it. So mine's just a bunch of stupid fucking memes. And one of the memes is a picture of the old Battleship box. And on the cover is like, fun for the whole family. And there's a picture of a dad and the son playing battleships. And in the background, the mom and the daughter are doing dishes.
Oh my fucking god.
Fun for the whole family.
Fun for the whole family. That's amazing. I just recently saw these memes about like what board games should actually have been titled. And the one for Battleship was like, this could easily be done on 2 pieces of paper with a pen. Like, doesn't need the board game at all. And the Monopoly was like, Family Fight Night.
That's so true.
Other, Twister was like, this looks like it should end in sex, but it doesn't.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about Twister is like,
think.
Oh god.
And then you're done and you're just sweaty and frustrated for no good reasons at all.
Yeah, it's like trying to do yoga on top of other people.
Yeah.
Not in a good
way. But like
way.
competitively.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna fucking knock you over.
My downward dog's better than yours. That's exactly what that is. Yo, honestly, that's $1 million idea. Market it, sell it.
What?
Just competitive yoga. People would love
Competitive
it.
yoga.
Oh my god. Absolutely.
They would absolutely love that, but everyone who practices yoga would be like, that's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do with
Those
yoga.
aren't the people you'd market it to because they're already doing their yoga.
It's true.
You'd market competitive yoga to people who are like, yeah, maybe I would like to stretch and feel a little better, but yoga's boring. You're like, well, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win yoga today? People like to win.
Would you just use the same mat? Or would you create like a whole new game board?
I'm almost thinking like some kind of like MMA type place where it's just a big old mat on the floor, you know, like giant mats everywhere. Yeah, so the whole floor is a mat.
How competitive are we getting?
It's competitive yoga. I mean, what do you...
How do you win competitive yoga? We're giving everyone...
I know, our idea is gone.
Yeah.
It's too late now.
They're like, we got this.
I don't know.
It's
How do
ours.
you do competitive
Yeah,
yoga?
we're going to leave this
You
off,
tell us.
off air.
Let the people decide.
We do have an empty warehouse in there we could use.
Oh, shit.
Ironically, MMA, like, fighting rings were built in that warehouse before Brad bought the building.
Really?
Yep.
I thought this used to be an auto garage. Hence the giant garage doors.
I think maybe in the very, very beginning, and then it was a pet shop, and then it was abandoned, and
Wow.
then it was a...
Place for competitive yoga, just way ahead of its time.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think whoever owned it just used it to build shit just because it was completely empty.
Which is crazy. This building's beautiful.
It is.
I know.
I mean, there's been a lot of work though, so it was
That's true.
not beautiful. I went in here when it was the pet shop, and it was disgusting.
Oh yeah, you've been here your whole life, forever, maybe, long time.
Pretty
No,
much.
You're from
I'm-
Virginia.
I was born in Jacksonville, Florida,
Florida.
but it was
Oh,
like
I
a
see.
year or two, and we moved up here, so it
Yeah,
doesn't.
you're from here. We went over this.
Yeah, we did. You were
Okay.
like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's Florida. Nobody cares.
I don't know. I care.
Sorry, that was no judgment against Florida. It was just that Florida sucks. So.
No, there's a lot of. Oh wait. Nice. I was like, no, you were totally right. Florida sucks. But I was like, no, you got there at the end. You just little plot twist. Everyone else is like super confused listening. They're like, I feel good. Wait, you got me there. But seriously,
That's how I
there's
keep them on your toes.
Florida is just weird.
Been
And
there.
a
Couple
part of
times.
me feels the Florida in me.
Ew, are you okay? You should
I
go to
don't
a
know.
doctor.
I know. It's like the little bit of crazy that I have.
That's fair.
I do enjoy how very meticulous you're getting with this, and so cautious with the microphone.
Well,
Or now too far away.
that makes sense because I moved it farther away.
Yeah,
I just don't want to keep hitting it, which I keep doing anyways.
that's okay. It happens.
That's fair. Touche.
Everyone realizes that we're talking into mics.
Brr, 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 brr. I make the worst sound.
I can't wait to put that in the intro.
That's it. That's the whole intro. Oh, I used to be a nanny for these two kids, and the little girl at one point loved that, just the making the air horn noise,
Mm.
and so she would try and do it, but in her little 3-year-old brain, the farthest she could get was brum brum brum. So I shared it with my friends, and for the longest time, that was our air horn noise. It's brum brum brum. It was precious.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Little 3-year-old brain was like, close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it. Just like randomly would just do that noise
Nailed
all
it.
the time.
Yeah, all the time.
That's so
But like
wonderful.
appropriately. Like she'd be playing with her brother or something and she would win, or like she would get her way or something and she'd be like, burr, 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 and look at him with like a serious face, and like her brows were furrowed a little bit. It was great. She was cool. She's still cool. We hang out.
That's amazing. I never did anything. I don't think I did anything that clever when I was a young kid.
Ugh, boring. Or you know what? That's fair though, because now you're like a clever, creative adult, so it just came and hit you later in life. I feel like I was a much more creative and clever child than I am now as an adult.
Well, in the terms of like interacting with people, I was never that clever. See, I didn't interact with people. I mean, I was drawing and doodling and all that shit still, yeah.
Right. You're having your creativity.
I had no sass.
God, I was nothing but sass.
No outward sass. How about that?
That's fair.
Thought it. Never
Thought it real hard.
never said it. No. Just like the thought of saying that to someone, I'm like, they're gonna reply, and then that's a problem. Then I'm gonna have to talk to them.
Yeah, I got that was always what I got in trouble for as a kid. Up until like teenage years was talking back.
Really?
Oh yeah. Giving
You?
sass. I just couldn't control myself.
No. I don't believe you at all.
I would never.
I do like when people are sassy, though.
It's,
I don't know if it's just
I think it's genuine. I think sass is genuine, and it's no holds back.
it makes me respect the person more.
Hmm?
I guess probably because I didn't indulge in my sass as much. When I experience it now in later life, I'm like, yeah, it was good. I deserve that. I have a great story. Speaking of that,
Tell me.
I was in here and I was going around the corner to go heat up my lunch in the kitchen. So I've got to go through the cafe, everyone, through the door that goes through the warehouse into the kitchen.
It's a long journey.
Oh my god, it is quite a trek.
Oh.
I had a fellowship of people
Let's just go
together
that way.
because there's more doors. And it was cold outside. It's
Fair.
beside the point.
Okay, continue.
So I whip around and through the door to get into the warehouse. Right in front of it is this guy that's talking to people, standing right in front of the walkway that the door is open and closing because the kitchen has to come through it every single time. And then you have Richard bringing in coffee, and the dude is just like straight up just chilling. And I whip around the corner and I've got this frozen fucking food in my hand, so my hand is getting cold, and I'm a little bitch, so I need to get that shit off my hands. And he looks at me and then turns right back around and continues his conversation. And so I walk through the group conversation to open the door and walk through, and I immediately go beeline right to Richard's area, and I just start ranting about it. I'm like, why the fuck do people just stand in the fucking walkway? Like, they know, or like someone who is like putting cream and shit in their coffee, and then everyone else like behind them waiting, but they're just sitting there talking to someone else. Like, get the fuck out of the way. Like, get out of the lanes of traffic. And as I'm
Should have told him.
bitching
Should have been sassy.
and complaining about all this, the maintenance man that works here, the Mr. Fix-It guy, Henrik, is like, will you please move all these people just standing in the walkway, and I can't get around you as you're complaining. So as I was complaining about people standing in the way, I literally stood to tell that story in the middle of the walkway that Henry was trying to get.
How dare you?
He just laid down the sass and destroyed me.
But that's exactly. I mean, he was even nice about it.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. Richard laughed for like literally a whole day and told every single person. So much so that I was like, Richard, when the fuck am I going to stop hearing about this
Never.
shameful moment that I had?
It's never over. It's continuing now.
He was like, I'll let you know.
Now it's immortalized.
Yeah, it's okay. It was a good moment.
That's fair.
Everyone should be.
But honestly, good for him for saying something. But still, I'd say he was too nice.
Oh yeah.
Because a good easy go to. I actually use a lot of my other job because the walkway to get from in front of the bar to behind the bar / also to go into the kitchen and like dish pit area and everything is literally a one lane. Like, it cannot fit more than one person.
Ooh.
So sometimes people love to stand there and just chit chat or whatever and just make that their place to stand for a second. So my go-to phrase is not a good place to stand as I'm trying to like shove through and pass them. But that's a easy go-to. It's just not a good place to stand. It's still nice enough, but it gets your point across.
It is. It also gives you like the sense of disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my god, what have I done? I disappointed this person. They're not angry at me, but I let them down, and that hurts a little bit more.
When it shows your like urgency too, you don't have time to sit there and explain to them that they need to get the fuck out of the way. You just go and you go, not a good place to stand.
Just right through them.
It's just a statement, you know what I mean? You're not asking anything. You're not even technically like reprimanding. You're just a statement. Just a general observation of this area. It's not a good place to stand.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just put that on the wall.
I just might.
That'd be pretty neat. I did put a giant.
Hey, Caleb, can I commission you for a piece of art that says "not a good place to stand"?
Only if I can put a middle finger in it.
Please, for the love of God, put a middle finger.
Okay. Can make that happen. On the back of that one over there, I did draw a giant like danger zone. Good. Right? Because kids go over there too.
Yeah.
And that door swings wide open. I've definitely kicked that door open and hit a kid.
You hit a child?
Well, technically, if the door hit the
I
kid.
will hit a child. Continue.
Where's that from? I can hear Will Ferrell saying that.
Oh, close.
No?
But it's role models. I don't know how it's close, but it's role models. It's not Will Ferrell.
Oh, is it Paul Rudd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I think, or is it Sean William? What's his name? What's that one? Scott. That's him.
Him? Okay.
It might be his character.
He's good too.
I think it might be his.
Yeah.
Because the kid he gets paired up with is like an actual child. Yeah, you know what? I'm almost 98% certain it's his character.
That's right, because Paul Rudd's dude is like geeky guy.
It's McLovin.
Yeah, McLovin.
Christopher Mintz-Blase.
I don't understand how you do that.
I don't know, man. It's my superpower.
Just knowing actors and movies.
Yeah, and like knowing how they like the 7 degrees of separation or whatever, all that shit. Like this is connected to this. That stuff I'm pretty good at.
Interesting.
I don't know why I can't put that skill to anything useful and like learn a trade, but I can read someone's IMDb page and then know their whole fucking career and remember it for no good reason.
I'm actually really jealous of that. I am on IMDb useless. All the time.
So am I. Just adding more to the vault.
Yeah, but I can't remember as well as you. I'm constantly
you're an artist,
having to go back. Okay.
You have a skill set.
Just gotta sacrifice all the other fun things just because
you think you get multiple? What do you think, you're Donald Glover or something? Get the fuck out of here.
I felt that.
Yeah. You should. Everybody should. Everybody listen to this. Please know that you're not as good as Donald Glover and you never will be. That goes for every single person listening, unless you're Donald Glover or Beyonce.
Ooh, wow, okay. Or Beyonce. I mean, it's really hard to argue that because Donald Glover has literally done like everything. And not just like has done everything.
No, mastered it.
Yeah, he killed it.
He shouldn't be allowed. Nobody should be allowed to have that many skill sets. But, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm real proud.
Dude's a fucking genius.
I'm a fan. He's genius. He's beautiful. His voice is amazing.
He can dance really well.
He can dance real well. He's a comedian.
Yeah, dude, his stand-up comedy is amazing.
Yeah, no, I can't with him. He just
Can you imagine if he came out
things.
with another single, like a stand-up?
Another comedy special? That's my hope. That's what I hope he comes back to next, because it's been a while.
Yeah, he kind of like loops through things.
The last time he was doing comedy, I think, was around camp or before camp, because then he had that little tour where he did like comedy the first half of the show and then rapped the other half.
Really?
Yeah, that was a tour that happened.
What? That's amazing.
I didn't see it. I wish I did, but I knew of it.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time. That was like right after or during when he was in college.
No, he was already writing for 30 Rock. I don't know if he was still in school.
Damn, he just looks so young.
Yeah.
Not anymore, though. It was like a burly wild man.
Just because he has a beard.
Creativity is just bursting out through his hair follicles.
That's fair. If only we could all be so lucky.
Seriously, I know some of our hair follicles don't exist.
Or just like creativity bursting through them.
I see. Okay. We went two different directions.
We did. I was talking about my lack of skill and talent for creative things.
That's not true at all.
Maybe it's drawing.
We literally just talked about you being a singer.
I can sing, whatever. But I guess in my head, whenever I say that, I'm always just thinking of like physical art. And I've always been so envious of it because like my stick figures, actually, I was almost going to compare it to that of a first grader, but like that would be rude for me to do that to first graders.
That's such bullshit.
No, I promise you.
I know, I hear this literally all the time.
I don't know why.
Everyone always goes to stick figures. Who fucking cares? Don't draw a goddamn stick figure. When do you ever?
That's the easiest of things to do, and
is
I
it
still
really?
Can't do it.
Really,
yeah.
a stick figure is the easiest of things to do because you got to think about proportions and everything. So yeah, super easy. You can't just draw a fucking hot dog. Super easy. You don't even need a bun. It's a oval.
Yeah, I don't know if I could draw a real true oval. If it's not perfect.
I have so much disdain in my eyes for you right now.
I can't see it. We're on a podcast. Sorry.
Oh, you're looking right. God damn it. I don't know if I hit the mic this time or you did.
That might have been you and your zipper. I love weird sound effects, and I wish Hollis was here to give us a brum brum brum.
I know, me too.
I know.
Is it the same though?
Now?
How long ago was that?
A couple years.
See?
I don't know if she's done it in a while. I bet she still knows what's up.
What if it has like a positive note at the end?
If she learned how to like go up and make it like a major instead of a minor. Oh, now I'm just thinking of Blue's Clues.
That's a good one. That was actually really good. It sounded exactly like blue.
Only because I'm a little bit raspy right now because I was just getting over a cold. Otherwise, I don't think it would sound
Hmm.
that great.
Those are dangerous words. I'm one of those people where if you're someone sick, I kick them out.
I'm not sick.
Well said. They're
Duh.
gonna throw you down the
Did you see all my snacks that you made fun of?
Yeah.
That's how I stay healthy when I'm feeling sick.
cucumbers.
You know how much bone broth I drank these past couple of days? A lot.
Okay. What do you, like a vampire or something? Vampires eat bone broth?
I don't.
I was
There's
thinking bone marrow. Never mind.
there's garlic in mine, so probably not. Also, I wish I had bone marrow. That shit's great for you. Lots of good vitamins.
Have you eaten bone marrow?
I've had bone marrow ice cream before, so
What?
that's definitely not healthy for you, but it's delicious.
I don't understand. Like it was bone marrow flavored ice cream?
Yeah, I actually requested it from my friends back in California who were just like trying to make creative fancy shit for like different pop-ups. I had this friend who worked at this cheese place and they wanted to go do like cheese presentations at places. And one time they were talking about making desserts, and I was like, if you guys make ice cream, I have a request. And it was bone marrow and like black cherries or something, because I'd seen it already on some video on the
okay.
internet. Somebody made bone marrow and like black cherry ice cream, and I thought it sounded amazing. And it was, because it was like salty and tart and like just savory a little bit, but it's delicious.
I've never had bone marrow.
I've only had it in ice cream, so
form. I feel like not a bad way to start though.
yeah, fair enough.
It's pretty creative.
I started the right way. I can't imagine it would be like unappealing though. I mean, I don't know. I guess presentation wise,
You could eat it out of a bone, right?
yeah, I guess unless they prepare it and give you just the piece that you kind of scrape out the end. This is not making it sound appealing
I
at
know,
all.
right?
You just scrape it out the bone and eat it.
Ignore the person screaming that you're scraping it out of.
Ew.
Ah, don't get that spot right there. Okay. Ah!
Gross.
Got the good one.
You're gross.
I've seen Anthony Bourdain eat that before. That was the first
Bone
time
marrow?
that I actually considered it being something worth eating.
Yeah.
Because I think he loves it.
I
Or
would eat bone marrow
did.
before I ate a lot of other crazy shit. I would do that before escargot.
Hmm.
Real fast. What else? There's some other weird things I haven't done.
Escargot is
Not weird,
snails?
excuse me. Like
Different.
untried things.
Okay. But escargot is snails.
Mhm.
What's the fish? Little fish eggs.
Caviar?
Yeah.
I've had caviar.
Yeah.
There's different kinds. The kind I had was salmon roe, and it's just so salty. It literally tastes like when you're boogie boarding and then you face plant into the sand and you get like it up your nose and you can taste it in your brain.
Oh,
That's what salmon roe tasted like to me.
I got like goosebumps.
Yeah, I know.
That is
Real good with my words.
That's nasty.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I immediately tasted that. So
To be
yeah.
honest, though, texture I was kind of into because it reminded me a little bit of those weird kind of like mochi balls. I don't know why I keep calling things weird. They're fascinating. But the mochi balls that they have at frozen yogurt places sometimes, they like pop in your mouth and they're full of liquid.
Yeah.
That was kind of
There
the.
are different kinds though. Some have ice cream inside. Some have like red bean paste. I like the ones with red bean paste.
I've tried like the gelatinous ones. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, like just a gelatinous bead filled with a liquid.
I do
That's
know that.
caviar. Well, it was salmon roe anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Except for it wasn't even like liquidy, it was still kind of just like gelatinous. I ate it with a chip and some creme fraiche. Caviar and chips?
No bananas?
Caviar and nachos.
Isn't that a thing? It's a restaurant, right?
Yeah, it's a cafe downtown.
What the fuck kind of laugh was that?
I knew you were referencing the cafe downtown. I don't think that's a real thing. If it is, I'm baffled now.
What do you mean? It's like sweet and salty. Is what you just talked about in ice cream form.
Yeah, but why banana? I don't know. I've never seen it in real life.
I don't know.
I just figured that was some quote cleverish thing those people decided to name their cafe.
I just pulled it out of my ass. I have no idea.
It's because you've heard of the cafe.
That is true.
Subliminally, it's in there. You
Yeah.
work downtown. It's around.
That's true, but I don't do anything but go to the bakery and then drive back.
Like ever.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Is it though?
Yeah. Come get a hamburger for me one day.
You do realize that I leave the bakery at like 7:30 in the morning.
All right. Although caviar and bananas would be open. You can go get an overpriced bagel. Excuse me, I didn't say that.
Yeah, instead I just want to go back to bed. That was perfect. Okay. Let's get into the thick of it.
Yuck.
Dominique,
Double C.
I'm glad that you came in here. Would you just call me Double C?
I said Fiat double C.
Oh. I was talking to someone the other day and they called me something like that.
Someone called you Fiat?
No, it was going back to alliteration with my name, and I told them not to call me CC.
Yeah, that's not your name.
Well, because it was something Caleb, but it started with a C.
What's your middle name?
And why do you need to know?
I hate when people get weird about their middle names. It makes no sense. It's just your name. It's on your driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
It's your name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
I know.
I prefer to go by my first and middle name because my last name is just kind of hard for people to say, and hearing people butcher it has just torn me to shreds over the years.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought I've been practicing how to pronounce that.
You don't need to. Just call me Dominique Marie. That's it.
Okay.
It's my stage name.
I don't have any issue with people knowing my middle name, but it is fun to tease people because they expect the challenge of finding out a middle name.
Nobody expects the challenge.
Yes, they do. You mean to tell me if you ask a random person, what's your middle name? You just automatically assume they're just going to spit it out for you?
I'd say half the time, sure. Why not? Because it's always just a handful of people who are like, ooh, I don't know, it's my middle name. Do I share it?
How dare you make fun of me? But that was pretty good. That dance was exactly what I was doing. No, it's Matthew.
Okay then, so definitely not CC.
No.
CMQ. Simqua. Simqua.
I know, it wasn't having any, it doesn't matter.
Simqua.
It doesn't matter at all. So we got you on here to talk about non-monogamy.
Non-monogamy.
Just get right into it
Jump.
now.
Jump. Yeah. We were trying to think of topics, and I figured that's one that I could speak on a little bit, as I'm currently in a non-monogamous relationship. And prior to this non-monogamous relationship I am currently in, I have definitely just always felt that the standard, just proposed notion of man meets a woman and they get married and they buy a house and they have a baby, it just never sounded like it made any sense to me, and it just sounded very fake and forced and not the norm. And I don't think it's impossible. Obviously, there's all kinds of relationships that are a man and a woman who got married and bought a house and had a baby, and I'm sure some of them are fine. But I would also be willing to argue that a lot of them are not. And they only are in those relationships because it was the story that was pushed down their throats, pushed down all of our throats, for like no good reason.
It's weird. I think it was just that article I was looking at before we started talking. I think it said, I want to, was it 2014? America had like an 84% disapproval rate of anything like any non-monogamous relationship.
What year? You said 14?
I did think I did say that.
Okay. So as a reference point, whoever's listening, if you want to know anything more about non-monogamy on like an actual kind of scientific level that I'm not so great at explaining, but the show Explained on Netflix has an episode on non-monogamy. It's less than 20 minutes. But one of the things, I just listened to it on the way here to refresh my memory.
Perfect.
One of the things on there, I believe they said 2016,
Okay.
in some study or survey they did, 1/3 of the American population said that they could see themselves in a non-monogamous relationship. 1/3's a lot.
That is a lot.
I know. And that was only a few years ago.
That's
and
good.
only a couple years after your thing.
If I have the right year.
Yeah, dude, that's my problem is I've never been good with like statistics and numbers, and like
I'm just gonna fucking look.
my brain doesn't work like that. It doesn't hold on to numbers. It'll hold on to actor names in movies real
Okay.
tight, but numbers not so much.
I could definitely cram dates and numbers before a test and
Oh yeah,
Get
that's
that shit
just
right.
like a quick retrieval memory thing, but I'm not gonna know it forever.
let's see if I can find it. What is that game where you have all the cards laid out?
Solitaire.
Well, yes, that is correct.
Thank you.
But if I can finish, there's a whole bunch of them and you have to pair them up. And so you're flipping them over, or you got to remember where they are to get the right pairs.
The matching game?
Yeah, it probably doesn't have a real name, does
I
it?
think it's just the matching game, and that's so funny because now I just feel like it's all coming full circle. One of the main reasons Lil Hollis used to use her is whenever she won the matching game,
That's amazing.
because that was their favorite game to play. That's hilarious.
Oh my God, no, look, right here. In 2016, a
What?
Pew poll of 9 countries, the United States had the highest disapproval of adultery, with 84% of Americans disapproving.
That's fair. I still believe that, especially out of 9 countries. The one I was talking about in 2016 was just Americans.
Or just America, okay.
A third of them said, and I don't even know how many people were polled, so who knows what a third actually means.
Oh, I know, right?
But so they could see themselves in a non-monogamous relationship. And then, I mean, I don't want to like pretend that I'm some teacher about this because I'm not, and I'm just living my own life experiences. But the stuff that I've kind of researched, I guess, and found out is, for starters, like just the differences between different types of non-monogamous relationships.
That's kind of what I was surprised by.
Yeah,
I heard non-monogamous, and I was just like, oh,
it's such a blanket
polygamy, got it.
term. Oh,
But-
right. Oh my God, that's the biggest one. When people hear anything other than monogamy, like the word alone, polygamy, I feel like is such a easy one to associate with, because I feel like it was heard maybe a bit more than polyamory or non-monogamy, because those terms aren't super popular and they're fairly new in popularity, I guess.
Right.
But polygamy isn't even like polygamy. The definition of polygamy is one man with like multiple wives. So that leaves no room for anything other than like heteronormative man and wife, but like add on some more wives in there. And I know a lot of it's rooted in religion and
I
certain
was about
parts
to
of
say
the
that too.
country.
Well, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah. But that's literally the only thing polygamy means. So even if it was like one man with a couple wives and another male partner, that wouldn't be polygamy. Or if it was one guy with a couple wives, but one of those wives also had another boyfriend, that wouldn't be polygamy either. Like the only thing that can be defined as polygamy is one man, multiple wives. And that's it. And that's not that common. Like,
Could it be one man and multiple husbands?
that's not the definition of polygamy.
Just fucking
It's
wives.
just a hetero thing. And that's it.
That is absurd.
Yeah.
Unless everyone agrees upon that.
I don't know.
So let's talk about the other.
The other ones?
Yeah, the
So-
other probably more.
Polygamy is a
Open.
type of non-monogamy because non-monogamy means anything that's not monogamous.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I guess technically monogamy does still include relationships that aren't heteronormative because it is just a singular partner with a singular partner, so it doesn't matter what gender or sexuality as long as it's just two
One on
to
one.
the pair. That's it.
Okay.
Polyamory specifically is more than two people with like an actual relationship. So it could be like a guy and a girl are dating and that girl also has another girlfriend. Or it could be a guy and a girl are dating and they both also have another girlfriend and another boyfriend. Or anything of the sorts. Whereas I personally like to use the blanket non-monogamy term because I currently just have a single partner, but our relationship is open, and we've both like explored things out of the standard monogamous umbrella of what
Mhm.
things are supposed to be. But I don't have another partner, and he doesn't have another partner, so technically we are each other's only partners, but we don't limit.
So you have like an open relationship.
Yeah. So it's a non-monogamous open relationship, but we're technically not polyamorous because neither one of us have another partner.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, if it's just like a fling or something, does that count?
For what?
Of having another like partner, if it's not something that is going to be ongoing.
I mean, it was so. I think ultimately my biggest thing about all of it is that like the beauty of having a relationship that's anything other than monogamous means that like you get to decide what it means, and it doesn't have to just be this monogamous one partner, you know, the get married, buy a house, have a kid thing. It's whatever the fuck you want it to be. So in my relationship, him and I have had other flings or whatever, and we've never called them partners because we didn't feel like they were a partner. They're a good friend, or maybe a new person we met, or an old friend, or a random hookup, or whatever it is. But there hasn't been an instance yet where either one of us has wanted to explore actually taking on another partner.
Okay.
'Cause, I mean, that's just a bigger emotional commitment, I
No,
think.
wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not that it's not possible or doable, but it's just like somebody's got to be worth it. You know what I mean? For any kind of relationship,
yes,
someone's got to be worth it to
most definitely.
take your time and energy when you already are giving time and energy to one partner.
I know. Oh my gosh. I think the first instance I don't want to say heard about this, or I don't know, I think considered it in a different perspective was reading the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. Because they talk about that a lot, because the reporter in that series is in an open relationship with the woman who eventually gets married to the guy.
Interesting.
And they just have that open agreement that the reporter fulfills a specific like sexual thing that her other partner just cannot do, whatever it is. They just have
Yeah.
that bond.
I love that.
But the other guy gives her everything else that
Yeah.
you would want in a relationship.
Or that she knows she needs at the moment.
Yeah,
She might have
exactly.
needs that are undiscovered.
So there are often times where she'll just like call him up and it's like, hey, I'm going to Blomkist place for a few days. And he's like, okay, I'll see you when you get back. And
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I was like, what the fuck? Okay. But then you read about it and then I'm like, okay, well, it just makes sense.
Right.
There's nothing to it.
See, one thing I kind of like to quote argue too is that even people who are in monogamous relationships are still kind of technically doing a non-monogamous thing in relations to like their friendships and their relationships with different people, even though it's not a romantic relationship or a sexual relationship or physical relationship or whatever. Like, you still have relationships with other people, and each relationship fulfills different things for you, because not a single person can fulfill, this is my thoughts, it's maybe not true for everybody, but no single person can fill every single need you have. It sounds crazy to me.
I fully agree with that.
That's why you need
sounds ridiculous.
other people for other things. And not only that, but like you want people to give you the things that like that they give naturally, you know what I mean? Like everybody has the one friend where like if you're feeling like shit and you need somebody to like pick you up, give you that pep talk and get you on your way and been like, let's fucking go, that's that person. But if you need somebody you're like, I just want to cry and like, you know,
have a body next to me.
I want somebody there to just comfort me and not try to like make me feel better or whatever, but just to listen and soothe my needs. Those sometimes maybe can be the same people, but I feel like a lot of times they're not, because that person who naturally is like, pick up, let's go, get up, we're ready, maybe doesn't do a great job at being like, okay, today you just want to sit here and cry and feel sad. That's totally fine.
Yeah, the other person definitely probably would not be okay with that.
Probably not.
Like, you're just gonna
Which
sit
is
there
okay.
and wallow.
Right, which is fine. Like, nobody needs to be what they aren't.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like, which is an interesting thing to think about, because if you in a monogamous relationship, you can't get in here, the door's locked. In a monogamous relationship, I wonder if because they are each other's one and only, I wonder if that like psychologically forces them to think they have to be the person that does fill every single like the whole basically.
Oh yeah. And I mean, we already kind of feel like as a society take that concept and try to like romanticize it. Like in my head, people talk about the whole pillars and they lean on each other and they rely on each other, and like I get it. Sure, you have these two single individual pillars and they lean and that's how they stay up. But like maybe it would be a better foundation if those two pieces were already like solid on their own and they stood side by side, and then they could probably take on a lot more.
Right?
You know what I mean? Instead of like
Yes.
just crumbling, holding each other up, and I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a healthier way to think about a relationship.
Yeah.
Because
I have to find my other half. So you mean you're not a whole by yourself? I
exactly.
don't understand.
It's a huge fucking problem.
Yeah.
And the parts that you think you don't want to like show people like I'm gonna have to keep this shit hidden, and eventually I'm gonna get married to this person, and I can't be that part of them because I have to be all the other goddamn fucking pieces.
I
And then
love that too. The whole like, you present this self to somebody, and then as soon as you're married, you're like, but actually, I have all these things about me too. Like,
Mhm.
shouldn't you tell somebody about those things before you sign a legally binding contract
seriously,
through the government? I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense
yeah,
to me.
divorces aren't cheap.
I was saying that's why the divorce on that episode of Explained, I think it said 2016, but I could be wrong. But it was something like over 2 million people got married that year in the U.S. and 800,000 divorces happened that year
I
also.
totally feel that.
That's a high percentage.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's almost half.
It could still be the same year if a third of the population would be willing to be in.
This is also, who knows what people they asked for that survey and stuff, you know what I mean?
Very true.
But as far as marriages and divorce rates, that's a solid number. That's fact. It was 2 million and some change got married, 800,000 got divorced, if that's the right year.
It's good to be a marriage and divorce lawyer.
Oh man, what an industry we're keeping alive, right? Like the marriage industry, just all the money we give to these things that I feel like probably aren't necessary.
Oh, absolutely. But what I was trying to say that even if a third of the people they said they could see themselves in that
Doesn't mean
style. Well, no, I'm thinking the 84% of disapproval rate in America still would count.
Yeah.
Because that's under the assumption that they're not going to be judged poorly. They're like, yeah, I could see myself in that, but...
And the statistic you gave me was disapproval rate for adultery, which I feel like most people are, because that's just lying. Like, nobody likes a liar.
No.
That's another one of my things, too, with non-monogamy and people being like, oh, well, like, I could never... First of all, whenever I bring up the topic of it, or I very rarely do anymore, but whenever people ask about non-monogamy because of my relationship, a huge response that I get, and usually the first one is, oh my god, I could never. Okay, well, first of all, wasn't asking you if you could. That's fine, that's cool. But secondly, like, how do you know? How do you know just because right now these fears that are going through your head of saying all the reasons why something wouldn't actually work if you tried? Not that you have to, but like, I don't know. We all just shut down ideas so fast because it's not what quote unquote normal is.
Oh, yeah. And it's so... That's another thing, too. Like, why would you immediately shut it down? Like, you haven't even, like, processed this.
Right.
You're thinking about your partner sleeping with other people and, like, just like, hey, I don't even need you anymore. Which is not what it's not what it is about at all.
Yeah, it's not. That's a huge point that I always forget to make, too, but a lot of people think whenever you hear about non-monogamy that it's like, oh, so wild, crazy sex parties all the time. I mean, that's possible, sure, and people could do that. That sounds fun, but that's like not what it's about, and that's not. There's so much more to it. There's just.
Yeah, we have orgies on Tuesdays,
right.
Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Would you like to join the mailing list?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Make sure you flip your pineapple upside down.
Oh my god.
Nah, swinging is probably something totally different.
Swinging is a form of non-monogamy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, is a agreed upon open interaction with other people. Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally.
There's all different. That's what non-monogamy is, just such a blanket term, because it's everything that's not a quote traditional quote normal regular standard thing that we. And on that episode of Explained, it talks about how like it's still fairly a new concept to human beings as a whole, up until like hunter-gatherer days, which I think it said was like 12,000 years ago, maybe 13,000 years ago. Like there's no fucking, we're just animals. Like we weren't monogamous. We're out there hunting, gathering, reproducing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's when the agricultural revolution came about, that's when people were finally like, that family over there, they've got some nice looking land and a daughter who's the same age as my son, and we've got some pretty good land here, and maybe if we combined our lands and we owned more space and territory, all right. Like that's all marriage was for in the beginning, was these contracts of how to like rule things greater and more powerful. Yeah. Like why could the concept of marrying for love didn't even come about till like a few hundred years ago?
People turning it for religious reasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It is nice though. There are some benefits to marriage. Is there open? I'm getting off subject for a second. Is there? I don't know. There's no like legal paper contract or anything still. Like it's just 100% monogamous marriage, right? Like you can't have like a legal like triad
Well, as
marriage.
far as I know, I don't think there is any way for that to have like a legal like throuple, like you're saying. But also, in instances of polygamy and a man with multiple wives, I know there's like weird loopholes and stuff that they're able to go through to where it is like they do legally have multiple wives.
Hmm.
And I know it's only in a handful of states, Utah, and some other ones, but I don't know how that works, and I'm not too updated with the legality of it. But it exists in forms other than just a monogamous marriage. I mean, fuck, up until a few years ago, marriage was only for a man and a woman.
That's
So,
true. Literally a few years
a
ago.
few years ago, which sounds absurd.
It really is. We gotta literally wait like another couple decades until
Oh,
those
yeah.
fuckers just die.
We'll have to wait another few decades for a lot of shit.
Mhm.
Unless just the planet dies and we're all put out of our misery.
That's fine. We'll move to space.
We can't afford to move to space, you silly Billy.
Why not?
We'll just be all the rich fucks who can afford to move to space.
No, that's where they go to Mars.
Mars is in space, no?
It would be a different planet.
Oh, the poor planet and the rich planet.
Yeah, the rich people live on the planet. Poor fuckers are floating in space dead.
So they're not alive.
No, I've been super obsessed with The Expanse lately, so.
Everybody talks about that. I need to
Well, see, I've been
figure out
listening.
what's up with it.
I've been listening to the books. The books are really good.
You said that.
Yeah, the show I think is pretty good too, but it's more interesting because it's interactions on almost like a racist kind of thing. So you have like Martians versus like Earth people, but there's also other people that grew up on just like space stations. And so their anatomy and physiology is different because they grew up in a different level of gravity. So you have like different people, and as they're all interacting together, they all kind of hate each other.
Yeah.
And so you're dealing with the same bullshit that we fucking deal with on Earth in America right now. Just like, oh, look, you're a different fucking color than me. That means everything. And it's almost the same exact thing. Like, they have, like, shit nicknames for people, and it makes no sense at all. Which is really interesting to listen to a book or, like, read a book or something like that, because in your mind, unless the author describes to you exactly what they look like, you get no preconceived notions of a person's character based on their looks.
Interesting.
So there are a lot of characters that
Never thought
eventually
about that.
like find out they're like Martian or something. Yeah. It's like, what? I didn't know that.
That's cool. That's beautiful.
It's neat.
I like that.
It's really scientific too. It's pretty nerdy.
We're so funny. Human beings are so funny.
Oh my
I
god.
think essentially we're all just, I mean, because truly we're a bunch of animals who are just like really bad at being animals. We've lost our way quite a bit.
I think Wade is like outside staring at us in the window, knocking on the door.
Well, somebody was in the window, but they walked away.
Oh yeah, it was him. Oh.
Oof. Big oof. If anybody does go watch that episode of Explained on Netflix after listening to this, it's gonna end up being just half the things I've talked about.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna go watch it.
It's so good. But it's, again, like with the whole animal thing, our closest relatives, as we know, are like chimps and bonobos because we're primates. But it's just like so fascinating. One of the things on there is how we're more closely related to bonobos than Asian elephants are related to African elephants.
What?
Yeah, they're both elephants, but they're more like farther removed from each other than we are to bonobos.
Interesting.
We're just animals, man. We're really bad at it, but we're just animals. And scientifically, like, obviously, you know, since marriage and monogamy didn't come along till a while ago, as animals, we were made to be non-monogamous. And
it's interesting because there's only like what, a handful of animals that are monogamous.
oh, so little, like so few.
Maybe not even a handful.
Probably less than a handful. The percentage is like minuscule.
I only know what the penguin.
The penguins. That's why I love saying monogamy is for the birds, penguins specifically.
Penguins.
And then there's this tapeworm, this parasite that literally fuses with, they like fuse together and make one life form. That
I
has
have
like
seen couples do that when they get married.
parasites.
Like, stop it.
Joint Facebook account.
You are two different people. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, very, very few.
Yeah, I don't really know anything else besides the penguin.
That's the main one I can think of. And they're precious. Like, if anybody deserves a beautiful monogamous relationship, it's them. Like, they'll go out, the males will go out and find the most perfect, most beautiful, smooth, shiny, amazing pebble. And they'll waddle up to their lady and present it to them and be like, yo, what up, girl? This for you. You in or not? And then a lot of the times, the lady does accept and takes that pebble, and then they mate for life, and that's it. But also, kind of makes sense because in that group of animals, the women are badass and they're the ones who do all the fucking like hunting and like they do everything. They let some dude impress them and then they mate and then she lays an egg and that dude stays there with that egg forever and just keeps it warm. And then the ladies are out fucking partying it up and fishing and like just having a blast being alive, and then they bring some fish back for their dudes and babies.
Right? Just out there probably enjoying other pebbles.
Right. No,
This
they're
is
not. They're
macho.
They're monogamous.
Oh my god. So it's interesting that we did end up so monogamous, like you said, even though animals generally don't even go that direction.
Yeah. And it just like, it's done us so much harm because it takes away from things that like biologically we need, which obviously a big one is sex, but then the way we've contrived sexual relationships today, it's almost more unhealthy than just not having sex at all.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I've never really given this a lot of thought, to be honest with you.
A lot of people haven't, which I mean, obviously is fine. It's just another thing to think about on top of all the other shit we have to think about. We're all working our lives away 50 hours a week just to pay bills, so it's fair, it makes sense.
True.
Yeah.
God, the decent citizens are working their asses off to be part of like society and pay bills. I'm sure there are plenty of fucktards out there that are just mooching off of someone else.
There's some. This mooching off someone else is a huge thing too, and it's sad because like I don't even necessarily feel contempt for the people who are mooching off of other stuff because like doing it yourself, again, it's 50 hours a week just to pay your bills. Like there's no living beyond it.
No.
And that's why everyone's in debt and people go to school, because then if at least I have this college degree, I can get a better job and not have to work so much. But no, because then you still have to work the same amount to pay off your student loans and
right. Or you just gotta dodge certain calls all the time.
It's all some bullshit.
It really is. I mean, at that point too, you could even think about it as needing to get away and escape. And I don't think the monogamous relationship is even popular in the uprising like youth or whatever.
Oh no.
Like, I don't think there's a
Our
thing.
youth is incredible. Like because it's the first generation of people to have been brought up with unlimited resources in their pocket.
True.
So like they're just full of knowledge and they have nothing but resources. Anytime. 24/7. They can know
people.
everything about anything every single day.
Yeah, that's true, and they like to tell you that.
Yeah, but so did we.
Oh,
even though we
God.
didn't have the access, we were still like, but this is what I do know. We all did it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess that's part of adolescence.
Yeah.
The shameful thing is, though, they're generally right. This group.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I saw this thing on Twitter the other day, and like, no, you're wrong. I'm like, am I though?
Yeah.
And I look into it, and like, fuck you.
It makes me super hopeful for the future.
True that. You can see that. I feel like we're headed towards.
If it was up to us or the generations before us, obviously.
I want to say that we're headed towards like a happier future.
I mean, that's my hope.
Maybe like self-happiness.
So then, kind of in a weird addition to the non-monogamy, people are putting more importance on, self-care and like
I love it.
There's even just like accountability and like owning up to your shit. And yeah, we all have fucking traumas, but like fix them, or not fix them, but like handle them. Know how to respond when things trigger you or whatever. Like,
right?
Learn about yourself.
If you feel a way, ask yourself why you feel that way.
And what a perfect segue back to the whole bit about, people like, I could never do that because just the thought of my partner sleeping with somebody else. Okay, so it makes you jealous, right? But like, Where does jealousy come from? I don't think jealousy is just like its standalone thing. Like
No.
jealousy just isn't a thing by itself.
No.
9 times out of 10, oh, I'm jealous if my partner sleeps with somebody else because then I'm afraid they're gonna leave me for them.
Insecurity.
Insecurity.
Yep.
And not only that, but like probably lack of communication.
Oh my god, it's a huge one.
Yeah.
It is a huge issue. Like, if you feel a certain fucking way, say it.
It's hard. It's so hard. I mean, I'm in a non-monogamous relationship, and I think my partner and I have wonderful, beautiful communication. But even still, like, him and I had a conversation last night that probably could have happened almost 2 weeks ago. I just was like, I don't know, how do I start the conversation? How do I bring it up? And like, what points do I want to make? And so I wrote out a list of the points I wanted to make, and then during our conversation I had to like look at my notepad and be like, oh yeah, okay, I did that one already, and had to come back. Otherwise I wouldn't have ever been able to start the conversation. And I mean, even still,
I like that,
the
though.
conversation was started, but like we still have a lot of talking to do, you know?
Mhm.
It's not just you start the conversation's over, and then now everything's resolved. It's supposed to be a continuous, ongoing thing. I will hit this chord until the day I die.
You did warn me that you move a lot when you talk.
I know I do. I'm
So much proof.
theatrical. I was a thespian in high school, alright?
The fuck is that?
A thespian?
Yeah.
Like acting, like theater acting.
Oh. Hey,
Theater.
that means
David Tennant.
My brother's a thespian.
David Tennant is the thespian. He's incredible.
David Tennant.
Yeah, he's like a classically trained Shakespearean actor.
He's also
A
a
doctor.
doctor.
You like that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm aware.
Arguably the best doctor, but he's not. Matt Smith is the best doctor. You can fight me on that.
I don't watch Doctor Who.
Oh,
Do you want to fight me on that?
a little bit, yeah. God, there's so much like intergalactic knowledge that
I'm
you don't
sure
even.
it's amazing.
No,
That
no.
I know.
It is super nerdy, so I understand. It's really hardcore nerd shit, but it's really neat.
The nerd culture has been on the rise for the past fucking decade. Calling things nerdy now, there's no negative connotation to it anymore. I don't think.
Oh, do you think
It's
I was
just
being
popular.
negative? No,
No, that's true. I don't know. It used to be.
I like being nerdy.
Yeah, it's just another way of being genuine and authentic and liking the things you like unapologetically.
What if the new youth good God, new youth generation would all kind of consider themselves nerdy?
Yeah, it's nerdy is just being allowed to like what you like.
Yeah,
I love it.
interesting.
It's great. It's
I do love
beautiful.
that too. You gotta
Oh my god.
communicate more about it.
I really hope. Just
I was trying not to laugh at every time you do that so hard.
I hope it gets picked up though. I hope you can hear all dozen times that I've hit these wires and cables and mics and cords and
Oh, it's amazing.
is it
It's actually kind of hard for me to focus because I'm trying not to laugh so much every time it happens. You're like also getting stuck like in your headphone cord.
I know.
It's
fine.
fantastic.
I'll be fine.
It's quite
Everything's
wonderful.
fine.
It's that picture of the dog meme where
Oh,
he's
and
just sitting
fire.
at the table. Yes, with the fire.
Everything's fine.
Everything's great.
I think about that often.
I do too.
I think it sums up our generation kind of perfectly.
True that.
We were just born into this room of fire, you know what I mean?
I know. And then all of a sudden there's a lifeline in the form of internet. And we climbed our fucking burnt asses out.
Trying to.
And we're Yeah, okay, good point. A little dark twist there.
Just
We
saying.
forgot to read our tarot cards before we started this.
We did, but you know what? I think afterwards will still be good.
Yeah, we'll still do that afterwards.
And I'd argue even better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be good.
I like the idea of non-monogamy, but I was
It's-
definitely
Yeah.
raised and ingrained in the Bible Belt Southern Baptist upbringing.
I was not
Ooh.
that specifically, but I was raised in religion. I went to Sunday school every week, basically, for most of my youth. I went to summer camp and winter camp and youth group on Wednesday nights, and
Wow, you did do it all.
I did it.
I feel that.
And I loved it. And I look back on a lot of it with just such like joy of all like the friends I had and getting to sing in choir, and everything was just so fun. It was such a just nice. It was just like such a nice way to hang out with friends
Hmm.
until after junior high, the way my church had done it was like elementary school ages, you're in a classroom with like all the kids from your same grade. And then for junior high, like 6th, 7th, and 8th, it's the junior high room and all the junior high aged kids are together. And then come high school, the high school room, that's when things stopped being fun. The high school room had no foosball table, no snacks, no choir, nothing.
That's
just
so weird.
just chairs lined up in rows, in columns, to sit and listen. Which I guess, that's how they thought the transition from fun into
adult world.
whatever you want to call it. And that's when I quit church. And also because it was when I went to high school and all I had to do was take like a world religions class to be like, oh, no shit. There's other ones? Wait. Hold on. There's other shit going on?
Yeah, they have
It's
pool
not-
tables in theirs.
And then, trying to like then go to the church and ask my leaders these questions about things that I was learning about, and the only responses I ever got was like, well, you gotta have faith.
Oh
And
God, the fucking faith
You
answer.
gotta do you have faith? And you were saved, right? All right, then you pray and you're saved, and you gotta have faith and saved and faith. And that's it.
We don't have the answer, so you just gotta believe in a higher power.
Yeah.
We're not meant to know the answers. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So that was when I quit.
I understand that. It took me way longer, but
Yeah.
we
That's
got
fair.
there.
But so, I'm definitely familiar with that.
Right, the ingrained.
This is the way.
Right. So like, as I was looking into the article and everything, I'm reading, and like, this all makes so much fucking sense.
Yeah.
It is so bizarre that like the initial like reaction is like, but then you think about it.
Knee jerk
like,
is
okay.
like, that's not what I know.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like your history is just freaking out in the back.
Yeah.
And all the rest of you that makes sense is like, shut the fuck up.
Right. All the logical parts are like, yeah, no shit. Of course.
And then it goes even further to like what we talked about. I don't even know if we were recording at this point. Like, it ultimately has nothing to do with anyone else.
Nope. That's the beauty of it. It's about you and taking care of you. And,
Right?
and honoring your wants and needs and listening to yourself and loving yourself.
It's fucking awesome. It's hard to
Yeah.
do.
It's so hard to do.
It's really hard. But god damn it,
Because
it's amazing.
it takes a lot of just like facing all of your ugly shit. Being
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's me. That's right. That's true. But it's not all of me.
Exactly.
It's not even the most important parts of me.
Or the most like prominent.
Yeah, no. For the most part, for most people, definitely not.
Yeah.
There's way more good prominently than there is ugly bullshit. I believe. That kind of, I think, goes back to a whole like, the nature versus nurture, and like, are humans born? Can a human be born evil? And I think the answer is like, absolutely fucking not. I think just like pure human souls are born just a clean slate, not good or bad, just neutral. And
Huh.
then what happens afterwards is up to its environment.
Fuck, I mean, it's really hard to argue that.
Well, some people argue that people can be born
me.
evil.
From me, I don't believe that. That seems ridiculous.
What?
Unless you get it underneath like the right pentagram and the right enunciations and sacrifices and stuff. Then yeah, definitely
Born at just the right time, under just the right moon.
spit that demon out.
Hell yeah, brother.
Because then you probably die on top of it from blood loss, and there's red moon and someone screaming in the background.
What movie is this?
I am literally just making this up.
It's a movie somewhere.
Is it?
Sure. Or TV show. I don't know. I've heard it before.
Getting flashbacks of my birth.
Nice. Demonic.
Oh
Like
my
I said,
God.
Satan.
My mom would freak out if she heard that.
Oh my god. I love the couple of times we've all talked about like our mothers and the similar responses we get to things. I love to call myself a witch, and especially around my mother, because her knee-jerk response is, oh, Dominique Marie, you don't say that. You're not a witch. You don't say that. Dominique Marie. That's also why I kind of love going by Dominique Marie, because it almost just makes me chuckle a little bit, because growing up that was what I heard whenever I was, quote, in trouble, or when I was giving sass. Just,
Mhm.
Dominique Marie.
Totally feel that. I got the first two names as well. Not often, because I never really did anything.
Sounds like you're a good kid.
I was
Oh,
for a little while.
a little bit. Most
Actually,
of your life.
I would probably say like 90%.
That's good.
Until now, I just want to burn everyone down. Totally exaggerating. That is not at all the case. But you know, we all have our demons.
Cheers.
You gotta deal with.
Cheers, queers. Here's to demons.
Yeah.
We've all got them.
It's so much better if you just sit down and look at them and just like, hi, we're gonna have to be friends because this shit ain't working.
Like, how can I make you better?
Yeah. Or like, how can you make me better?
Whatever way works for you, you know?
Because I mean, sometimes I think
Are
people
you at a
looking at.
crossroads, or are you just like in your bathroom mirror? Like, where are you at?
That's a really good point. What are you sacrificing in this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Yeah, but sometimes demons aren't even like, in my opinion, like bad. I think it's just
No.
people feeling that they aren't allowed to indulge themselves in certain things, and so they're looking at it in such a negative viewpoint. I'm like, it's not a bad thing, but you're getting so worked up, and you see this part of you as this worst, degrading, like everything about it you hate, but it is a part of you.
Right, it's like we were just saying. It's just the parts of you that like need some love and
Yeah.
care, and they don't have to be bad.
Right.
It's just
Let
not,
it in.
And yeah, like in addition to not being quote unquote bad, like who gets to decide what is bad or good anyways? These societal rules that we were given for the past few hundred years, or like your preacher or your parents or whatever.
Spoken like a true anarchist.
If only-
Everyone could see
if
that
only
face.
everyone could see that face. I have said for years that if I was ever granted one single wish from a genie, my wish would be that I could roll my eyes all the way into the back of my head so that people could feel my contempt for them
Interesting.
when I converse about things that are just, ugh, you know?
Oh, you have a pretty solid eye roll. I just caught that.
It's not bad, but I wish I could just give people the whites of my eyes. That's my dream.
It is not the ultimate eye roll.
Not yet. I haven't met a genie yet.
No, that would hurt.
Well, I guess I should probably
You could train your eyes.
specify in my wish. No, I'm just gonna wait for the genie.
Okay.
And I'll specify I want to be able to roll my eyes all the way back into my head without it hurting.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because that's a good point.
Little caveat at the end.
They
Like,
could grant me that wish, and then I'm just in excruciating pain every time I do it. So then I never do it. How boring! What a waste of a wish.
that if you're trying to cover all loopholes, then you have to say and bring them back to neutral.
You're right.
Because what if you're just staring at your brain forever?
Or what if my wish is just to have full control of my eyes, painlessly? Does that cover everything?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Full painless control of my eyeballs. I don't know. Somebody help me word this. You have suggestions?
Yeah,
Let me
please
know.
email us in with that one. That's
How do I
amazing.
word my genie wish? Email me.
There should be a whole podcast about that.
About genie wishes and how to word them properly.
People just send
That's
you
a
a bunch
good
of
idea.
wishes and like, help me not get fucked over by this.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's cover all the bases.
Cover all. It ends up just being a fucking like dissertation of one single
Fuck.
wish.
Well, here you go. Sign here, here, and here.
Right.
Genie, we're gonna need your thumbprint here, here, and here.
Genie's like, I ain't even got thumbs, dog.
What do you mean? Will Smith definitely had thumbs.
Well, they're like ghostly hands.
I'm just-
like vapory things. I don't know. I'm making shit up.
What kind of genies have you ran into?
So many, and none of them have granted me my wish yet.
Oh,
It's sad.
that
It's
is
because I
sad.
haven't been able to word it properly. So again, if you can email in,
They're just laughing at you like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge
Right.
that wish.
my eyeballs are just gonna fall out of my head.
They're just gonna give you two fake eyeballs right here, and you're like, here you go, roll
Roll
those
'em.
around. Fuck. There's so many loopholes in
Right?
this.
It's
Shit.
hard. It's hard, man.
But
what
it,
kind of world are we living in where I can't just ask for a simple wish from a genie?
I don't know. Not the world that we want to stay in.
MAGA, make America genies again.
I like that. What the?
That didn't even make sense.
No, but I think it was clever all the same.
Yeah.
We needed that there. I should probably make a shirt or a hat of that.
Make America genies again.
Mm-hmm. Except red, we'll do purple.
Make all genies again. Make America genies also? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry about
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Write in your suggestions.
Mhm.
Email Caleb. Your
Yeah.
suggestions for purple hats.
Purple hats. You like the purple idea?
Yeah, I like purple.
Okay.
It's powerful.
I don't know why. I think genie immediately just went to purple.
It's fair. It's powerful.
But when I hear
Royal.
genie,
Blue.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
All of us.
Aladdin.
Aladdin.
I don't know if there's any other genies. Anything else I know?
I Dream a Genie.
I literally cannot. Oh my god, she's amazing though.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that was a good memory.
You're welcome. What was this episode about again?
Speaking of that, it's probably about time to wrap this up. Oh yeah, we've done a good job.
Have we done a great job?
I think it was a good conversation.
Yeah, not bad.
And we definitely got some first-hand experience coming from you, which is really awesome because
Yeah.
as far as I know, you're the only person I know that's in an open relationship.
Non-monogamous relationship. That's
But then
me.
again, that's a good point that I almost wanted to ask you. How would you like just randomly, like, do you just like bring this, like, if you have a connection with someone, do you like just drop that ball, or do you try to like get a
So,
feel of what their perspective is first?
Actually, I think it's pretty fair. I use fair loosely, but pretty fair to assume that most anyone you talk to loves monogamy
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh yeah.
because that's just where we're at. So that's just what I assume, I guess, with anybody I talk to. And at some point, I definitely bring it up earlier rather than later, especially because I feel like it's a thing about me that I like care about and I'm passionate enough about. Just again, because I think it all just comes back to like fucking, I want people to love themselves.
Yeah.
And for me, finally, and again, I am now in a non-monogamous relationship, but I think I first actually realized that monogamy wasn't for me when I had my second boyfriend back in like 2013. And I've gone through other monogamous relationships since then, just not really listening to myself and how I felt and acknowledging my feelings and like loving myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes time. It takes a lot of time. And
All good things generally do.
yeah, my relationship that I'm in now just so happened that the conversation about monogamy was like the first thing I ever talked to him about, because he's just a mutual friend, or one of my best friends is a mutual friend between him and I. And so she introduced us and we're just like at a bar playing pool one night or whatever, and I just jumped right into the fact like, hey, yeah, this is what's up with me, this is what I'm about. And because I was also kind of, not freshly, but a few months out of a long-term monogamous relationship that obviously didn't go well because I'm not a monogamous person.
Right.
So I was just very like hell-bent on being like, I need to make sure everybody knows that this is what I'm about, because this is what I'm about and I'm finally allowed to be about it.
Fuck yeah.
So
That's good. I think definitely start off with that shit.
Yeah.
Or maybe not like.
well, it's just, and I mean,
Hi,
if
what-
we're being real, so it's 2020 and I do have a Tinder that I scroll occasionally when I'm bored, and it does say on there that I'm in a non-monogamous relationship, and there's even a photo of me and my partner, just so
Nice.
it's full transparency. And
That's the best part, I think.
dude, it's so nice to just like know that everybody knows your same truth and that you don't have to have different truths for different people, because
Right.
I used to do that a lot.
I
I
feel
used,
that.
I used to have a life full of different truths for different people in different settings and situations, and God, was it exhausting.
Yeah. And then you go home and you don't even know who the fuck you are anymore.
Just sad.
You have different parts of you fighting for more parts of you, and
Just sad. Sad all the time.
yeah. It's fucking hard
Being a person?
A person. It is.
Hell yeah, it is.
But totally worth it if you can put forth the
it's
energy and like
beautiful.
try and solve
It's
like,
beautiful.
issues. Yeah.
Not, if everything was easy, then everything would suck.
Yep.
Nothing would be nice.
No, it wouldn't be worth
Good.
it.
No.
Embrace the suck.
Yeah, you got to.
Absolutely. And that's where we're going to end this. I think
Cheers,
it's
queers.
perfect. Is that from something?
No, it's just something I like to say.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I will call that the title for the episode.
Cheers, queers. I love it. I mean, I'm
Okay.
also queer, which I guess can have parts to do with non-monogamy.
That
but
is unacceptable.
that's a that's a different topic, I guess.
I guess it kind
I
of
feel
is.
like it's partially all-encompassing, but there's layers to everything.
Fuck A. Yeah.
Fuck
Goddamn
A?
Shrek. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know. I'm standing by that. Whatever.
I like it.
I don't
All right.
talk well.
Cheers, queers.
Hey, thank you everybody for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a lot, huh? You're thinking a little bit different now? I bet you liked how that ended too, didn't you? Of course you did. Of course you did. Anyway, if you want to get in touch with us, you want to like what we do, you want to get a little behind the scenes heads up and all of the cool stuff in between, and you can follow us on social media under Baked Cat Studio, Twitter, Baked Cat Studio 1, YouTube, Baked Cat Studio. You got it. You nailed it. Say it all with me now. And I totally forgot to ask Dominique where you could find her, but I don't think she wants people following her personal account, so maybe not. Doesn't matter anyways, you can't get it. But I hope you do get to have a great weekend. I'll see you later.